Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here this morning, and we will start with our agenda briefing. Before you, each one of you have the agenda for today. Marcia, thank you for getting those to us on Thursday morning. Thank you. Our packages. The invocation this morning, Steve Keene, Pledge of Allegiance, Commissioner John Bell. Have approval of minutes. That's an action item. The discussion and adjustment of the agenda. Do we have any additions this morning to the agenda?
You had the additional budget amendments that would be added when the finance officer comes up. You have this package. And so you've got those, and she'll be going over all those. So if you'll just add them, and then she's going to go over all of them at the same time, Mr. Chairman, if that's appropriate.
Okay.
And she also does have one budget amendment in the original package of in your agenda from the landfill, and it was on a grant. Because of the way the grant cycle's working, we do not need to pre-spend dollars. So she's going to talk to you about deleting that budget amendment until July 10th.
Yes, number 435 needs to be taken out of the package.
Yeah, so just make note, number 435 will be taken off for now. Mm-hmm. And then we're adding 415, 436, 437, 441, 442, and 443.
Okay.
All right.
Take out 435.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that's everything. That's the only change we have unless a board member has something, Mr. Chairman.
Adjustment to the agenda. Anyone?
Mr. Chairman, you suppose that maybe this time we can kind of group these budget amendments in some way?
Did you group them? They're grouped.
We did that last time, and
They're going to go fast today.
okay.
They are.
With your assistance. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm just saying.
You asked the question.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Levity always helps.
Appointment committees. Mr. Mayo, you ready with appointment committees?
Yes, we're ready, Mr. Chairman.
Committee reports from commissioners. Unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business that we need to indicate on this today that we've not listed?
Not at this time.
I think, Mr. Mayo, on facilities, you can give us an update on the Steele Memorial Library.
Yes, I will.
That's unfinished business. I know with some things there with the contract, but would you go over that?
Yes, I will.
Okay. New business budget amendments. We just got that.
Mr. Chairman, if I go back
Yes.
to unfinished business.
Yes, sir.
There was an article that was in the paper indicating there'd have to be a second vote on the modifications on the planning board, and that was wrong. Could we get some comment from our attorney regarding that, just some clarification, because a second vote is not required, is that correct?
Okay.
You just want to do that under unfinished, just have him bring that up?
Yeah.
Okay. Just, if you would just want that second reading clarification? Or no need for second reading clarification?
Okay, unfinished business, then we'll just add that. Any other unfinished business? Okay. New business, budget amendments, we've gone over that. Health collective impact meeting update.
Health director's coming
Good.
to do that.
Okay. Applications for property tax exemption.
Tax office,
Okay,
here?
David Ward.
yes.
application for present use value.
Same thing, tax office, David will be here.
Can I ask a question, please?
Mhm.
On those exemptions, could you bring us I'm sure there's a blank form letter that goes out to people about, their exemptions and they need to come in,
Sure.
or do they not?
We'll,
I just really like to see.
we'll call down in a minute and get them bring one up, because they do these every day.
Because,
so,
it
Yeah,
seems like we're getting so many of these, I'm just
Okay.
wondering how that thing's working,
Absolutely.
where the people are taking it.
when we break in a moment, we'll call.
Okay.
We'll get them bring one up, sure.
Mr. King. While we're on that, when we come to that, is one of those use values that I was involved in, and I would like to remove myself from voting on that particular one.
Which one, number 4 or number 3?
Number 3, I'm
All
sorry,
right.
number 3. I've got it marked, I'll let you know when you get to it.
If you would, conflict of interest, once I read the conflict of interest statement, if you would just ask to be recused from number 3 under new business.
What page was that?
Yes, sir.
Just ask to be recused from under new business.
Well, there's several
Did you
of
want
them. I
to-
mean, just that one. That's
Did
that-
you want to pull that one out and then deal with that one separately? That way you can deal with all the
I
others?
just want to make sure it's legal. I just.
Okay, can we just take that one out and then deal with it last, maybe? That way, and then he can recuse? Okay, and that way Marcia can keep a little, that was on page
26 through 29?
32?
Page,
So your number,
page 32.
Yes, page
so you've gone to number 4 now. Number 4, applications for present use value, page 30 through 37.
And we would take them all except page 32, and then maybe take that separately, and Mr. Aycock would ask to be recused from that.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, you can do it at the conflict of interest statement if you'd like, or you can wait until we'll get into that. You can ask to be
Whatever
recused.
the council
How
advises.
does he do that?
I would wait, just when you get to that one, pull page 32 out from we'll talk to David, so when he goes through them, he'll do
Okay.
it.
Okay, if you
Do
just
it
make me aware of that when it comes
separately.
up.
I will.
Then-
Okay.
I got it marked.
All right. Number, let's see, Dobbs County Estate, Section 9 and Section 8 Final Subdivision Plat.
Con?
Tom, Mr. Price.
No, it's just, first section of the final section, you've got section 9, you've got lots on one side of the street. And you've got a cemetery set aside inside the property, they've got open space there. The revision of section 8 is where it was previously designated as open space, and they're changing that to use it as part of the lots in this section and designating additional areas as open space. All the streets are in the water lines and fire hydrants.
Okay. Berkeley Mall fireworks display, July 4. Small Business Week in Wayne County proclamation. Who's going to do that?
Just ask for a volunteer. We don't really have anyone coming to read that. Maybe someone that's on the WCA board, or
I read it, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mann.
Public comments at 10. Work session. Unless the commissioners have anything they want to work at today, work session.
I think we need to go into one, Mr. Chairman.
For what?
We need to discuss the radio system a little bit.
Radio?
Yes, sir.
Who's going to be here to do that?
Mr. Parker.
Mr. Parker. And we can bring that
I
under
can-
unfinished business, or we can have a work session on it. Is everyone here that you want to participate?
Well, I think a couple of, I know Joe and some others will be here for budget amendments anyway, so you
I
have.
mean, we can have them here, but we have some things we need to discuss.
Mhm.
So do you want to have a work session on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Won't take long.
Well, then, do you want to bring in unfinished business instead of a work session? It is unfinished business. This is not a closed session, this is a work session.
What do you,
Whichever, I'll go to work session, would be fine.
Okay? All right, work session. Okay, 10 o'clock comments, a work session, Board of Commissioner comments, and in closed session. We are anticipating a closed session today around 10. I'm having the accountants here at 10. They'll be after the comment section. Closed session may take a while. On the same subject matter as
Do that at the
the last meeting.
Okay. So that'll be near
It may
the,
have-
near the end.
Maybe an hour.
So if it's at the end, we should be in good shape, I guess. Yeah.
I was trying to get everyone out of here by 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Good Lord.
I know.
You know, when you hear a thud, it's me. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Okay, you anticipate the
Okay,
work
I
session?
can
I'm just
live-
trying to get a timeline, that's all.
Yeah, you should be
Work
fine.
session. In general, we have work sessions, we go to lunch and come back and have an hour or two to go into work on a specific, issue or project.
I can also mention, Mr. Chairman, in the budget amendments, you have the amendment, I think it was mentioned last meeting on the VFIS study.
Yeah.
Mr. Aycock knows, we talked to Bill in Pennsylvania. They're sending the electronic copy that we can get, because it's several hundred pages. But Blair's bringing over the hard copy, and then, but anyway, he got that and was finishing it about last night. So we'll be making copies for everybody but in the electronic, so you'll have your choice. If you want electronic to go through it, or do you want the booklet, it's up to you. But anyway, we'll just let us know today, but we're supposed to have that sometime today.
Well, that's a different matter than the radio system.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
survey.
totally different, but I was just talking about your budget amendments, because somebody mentioned to me this morning, just make sure that that's in process, so.
So do you want a work session on the radio system or the survey?
Is there anything on the survey? Anybody need anything on that? It's kind of is what it
It's
is.
just what it is.
Exactly.
I think we need to get this budget out of the way, and then we'll work on that.
It's probably a good idea.
Okay, so the work session is on the radio system.
Yes, sir.
And it may take you a couple months to go through that. It's a lot of information. It'll take you a couple months to read through it. Yeah,
Okay,
really will.
all right. Board Commissioners' comments. Closed session, we will have a closed session. I've asked none, Bashir, all none, Dana, to be here at 10. Finance. Okay. Board of Commissioners' information. Okay, anything else? At 8:30 this morning, we'll have the Wayne County Board of Equalization and Review. See, tax office is here. Mr. Allen, Mr. Ward, thank you. Mr. Allen, sorry. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, you didn't mention number 6 under new business.
Establish a public hearing on proposed emergency services cost recovery ordinance for the county of Wayne, North Carolina. I apologize. We will, that will be an action item to establish a public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, if it's appropriate, we also have a guest that came in this morning from the Association of County Commissioners. Just slipped in. Neil Emery slipped in just a little while ago. And I think they go and check up on county managers and they grade us. Is that what you're doing?
Just make sure you are.
Give me an A. Tell David I know what you're up to.
Neil, thank you for coming this morning from the association. I'm surprised you're here, not in Raleigh, in the General Assembly.
He's the road guy. He's
We're just
out.
trying to reach out and drop in on board meetings. and let
That's
you know we're
great.
out there.
That's very nice. Thank you for coming.
Any other comments? Take a 5-minute break and be back at 8:30 for our equalization review.
That's the name on it.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming this morning to our commissioners' meeting. I'd like to make sure all cell phones are turned off, please, or in the vibrating mode, not to interrupt us this morning. I'd like to start out with recognizing those that might be in our family that are suffering this morning. And I've been asked to do the invocation, but before I do that, I just wanted to recognize that there are some in our community that are not faring well today because of sickness or health problems, and whether it's spiritual, mental, physical. There's death in families that we are very close to today. There are those in our state that need to be lifted up this morning. There are those in other states like Oklahoma this morning that are in destitute, confused, not understanding. Many people, mostly children, that went to bed last night are waking up this morning, families without those children. It's been devastation of greatness that is a power that we don't understand, only that it happens. It happens to the rich, and it happens to the poor. So this morning, looking at that issue, I would like to bring some comfort, if I can, as your chairman, that we look to God in times like this. And there's a piece that Max Lucado has put together that I would like to read, and it brings the chapter of Matthew in the New Testament, where Matthew 14 says, "Lord, if it's you," Peter says, "tell me to come to you on the water." Max Lucado goes on to say Peter is not testing Jesus, he is pleading with Jesus. Stepping onto a stormy sea is not a move of logic. It is a move of desperation. Peter grabs the edge of the boat, throws out a leg, follows with the other. Several steps are taken. It's as if invisible ridge of rocks run beneath his feet. At the end of the ridge is a glowing face of a never-say-die friend. We do the same, don't we? We come to Christ in an hour of deep need. We abandon the boat of good works. We realize that human strength won't save us, so we look to God in desperation. We realize that all the good works in the world are punny when laid before the perfect one. And then real quickly go into Isaiah 40, verse 25 through 31. It says, "He gives power to those who are tired and worn out. He offers strength to the weak. Even youths will become exhausted and young men will give up, but those who wait on the Lord will find new strength. They will fly high on eagles' wings. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint." This writer here says we can depend on God for our source of strength. Even the strongest people get tired at times, but God's power and strength never diminish. He is never too tired or too busy to help and listen. When you feel all the life crushing you, and think of those people this morning that their lives have been crushed, and you cannot go another step, and there certainly are those this morning who have given up. Remember that you can call upon God to renew your strength. Hope in the Lord means expecting that this promise of strength will help us to rise above life's distractions and difficulties, and certainly right here in our own community in times of death and destruction, and even in Oklahoma that has happened. This also means trusting God to fulfill this promise found in His Word. Will you pray with me? Lord, we thank you for who you are. We thank you for loving us like you do. We praise your holy name. And we just ask for that grace that you say in your word is sufficient, for your power is made perfect in weakness. And there's much of that going on today, even in this very room. So we ask you for the wisdom and the power through the Holy Spirit to understand what is happening today to the limit of what you will allow us, and that all we do and say will glorify you in all things, Father. And it's through Jesus Christ we ask these things. Amen. Mr. Bell?
Stand and say the pledge of allegiance together.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. General statutes mandates that the chairman inquire as to whether any member knows of any known conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect of matters before the commission. If any member knows of a conflict of interest or appearance of a conflict, please so state at this time. Thank you. We have the minutes before you this morning of May the 7th. Before I ask, or I'll go ahead and ask for approval of those.
I so move.
A motion's on the floor that we approve those minutes. Any discussion? I have one change, please. It's under comments. They're not numbered. The pages are not numbered. But it's under commissioner comments toward the back. Chairman Steve King stated property in Wayne County is valued at $7 billion. The county budget is $158 billion. I'm glad it's not.
We're balanced if we are.
We are balanced. That's a million. Any other discussions on this? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? I'm sorry, I'm back in another meeting. I'll do the hand raising. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's the first $7 billion we got.
Discussion and adjustment of the agenda. This morning in our agenda meeting, we did have some adjustments and discussion. There will not be a work session today. We had discussed that, but there will not be a work session. And the adjustment was we added some budget amendments. Mr. Smith, if you will just go over those,
Yes.
what we added, please, to the budget amendments.
Well, first, and Ms. Holt, when she comes up, she'll go over them in detail, but we are deleting number 435. Is that correct number, Pam?
Yes.
Okay, deleting number 435. That's a solid waste. It's dealing with the grant. Cannot expend dollars before July 1st, so in order to make sure we capitalize on those dollars from the state, we're going to pull that, number 435. We are adding to budget amendments number 415, number 436, number 437, number 441, number 442, and number 443. So, and then Ms. Holt will be going over those, and then we have guests with us to give us other detail on some of these budget amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
Appointment Committee, Mr. Mayo, Chairman of the Appointment Committee.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if you would turn in your agenda to pretty close to the front this time, the appointments, the section captioned appointments, turn to the East Carolina Workforce Development Board. We're not going to do that in a day. We're going to wait another month to bring that forward. In the Wayne County Community College, we Board of Trustees, which is right under that. The board, the committee recommends that we reappoint Veda McNair to the Wayne Community College Board of Trustees, and I would like to make that in the form of a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayo. There's a motion on the floor then to reappoint Ms. Veda McNair to the Wayne Community College Board of Trustees. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed, that's unanimous.
Okay, if you return the page, the Wayne County Public Library Board of Advisors, the committee recommends that we reappoint Laura Hill Strickland to the Wayne County Public Library Board of Advisors, and that's a form of a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion's on the floor that we reappoint Laura Hill Strickland to the Wayne County Public Library Board of Advisors. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? It's unanimous.
If you turn to the last page, the chairman of the Wayne County ABC Board, the committee is recommending that we reappoint Joseph Sawyer Jr. as chairman of the Wayne County ABC Board, and that's in the form of a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion's on the floor that we reappoint Joseph Sawyer Jr. as chairman of the Wayne County ABC Board. Any discussion? I have one question.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I see where his appointment date is up 5/14/14, which will be next year.
Yes. So
That will be 1 month short of his chairmanship
Yes.
at the end of his appointment time.
Mhm.
Do we want to make note of that?
Yes, we can make note of that, but it really doesn't affect, we're going to keep these chairmen, we're going to keep the chairman 1 year term to end on June 30th of each year. And Mr. Sawyer's term runs out in May of 14, which puts him 1 month short as far as being chairman. But if we do not, if we take no action on Mr. Sawyer's term of appointment, if we wait a month, then he will be able to serve the full year and keep the chairman dates at June 30th of each year.
Thank you. Any other questions, discussion? Mr. Cromartie?
I have a question that I'd like to ask so as to enlighten my unclearness and hopefully to inform the public as to exactly the process of appointments to committees. I had an occasion to serve with a person on a committee, and he let me know that his time was coming to be over, and he had expressed an interest to me to continue to serve, and I did ask the question as to what the process was, and at that time, I understood it to be that when a person's time was nearing completion on a board, they would receive a letter.
Can you pull your microphone down so I can make sure they hear you? Sorry.
Okay.
I knew they were coming out.
All right. That the person would receive a letter letting him know that his time was nearing, and some sort of a question as to whether or not he desired to continue to serve. The best information I have, the person did not receive a letter and was not given an opportunity to voice whether or not they would like to continue to serve on that particular board or not. Further information led me to understand that if a person served that length of time, and I'm not saying you have an automatic right to be put back on, because then all the same people serving would ever have a chance to serve. But my concern is that there be information shared with the public exactly your length of time, and if you deserve a letter to find out whether or not you have an opportunity to serve, that might be helpful to the understanding of the public.
So I would take it that Mr. Sawyer, in
No,
order
no,
to...
No.
I thought who we were
I didn't say
talking about.
Mr. Sawyer, I said a board that I was serving on. having nothing to do with Mr. Sawyer. This is not.
Well, this is the
Oh,
discussion
this is
for
not
Mr. Sawyer.
I'm sorry. I'll wait for public comment. I'll wait for commissioner comment. When you asked the question, I thought it was just a general question about committees, not to have anything to do with Mr. Sawyer. Let me back up then.
Okay.
Nothing to do with Mr. Sawyer, pardon me.
Okay. So any other discussion on Mr. Joseph Sawyer is motions on the floor that we ask Mr. Sawyer to serve as chairman. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, let's go back to East Point, if you will, which is about the second page. It's on the same. We, beginning July 1st of 2013, there will be one county commissioner from each county to serve on East Point. The length of the term will be determined after July 1st of 2013. If you remember, East Point is sort of reorganizing and changing the board, and we here in Wayne County need to recommend and nominate someone, appoint someone to be on the East Point board. And at this time, Mr. Chairman, I would like to appoint Mr. Steve King to be on the East Point board.
Motions.
Make that in form of a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion is made to have Steve Keene to be the representative from Wayne County on the East Point Board. And the date is beginning when?
July 1st, 2013.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All those opposed? That's 5, 6, 4, and 1 opposed. Mr. Bell.
Mr. Chairman, also, we have new information that's out on the US 70 Economic Impact Study. The Cambridge Systematics Incorporated, the new steering committees to coordinate with counties and local communities in Cambridge. The steering committee will consist of one representative that's elected by the following Board of Commissioners: Johnston, Wayne, Lenore, Craven, Jones, and Carteret. One representative that's elected by the following town councils: Smithfield, Selma, Goldsboro, Kinston, New Bern, Havelock, and Morehead City. One representative selected by a Farm Bureau, and one representative Economic Developers Association of Eastern North Carolina. And so this is another board that is being changed as far as a number of people on the boards, the steering committee. And at this time, the steering committee, I would like to make a motion that we accept and appoint Mr. Steve King to the steering committee of the Impact Highway 70 Corridor Commission at this time for Wayne County.
Motion's on the floor to appoint Steve King to serve on the Economic Impact Analysis Study Steering Committee for Wayne County. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? It's unanimous.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayo. Board of Commissioners Committee reports. Mr. Bell.
No report today.
Mr. Daugherty.
The Wayne County Board of Health met and finalized their recommended budget for next year. I want to commend the staff and commend the staff for their hard work in trimming their initial budget by 4%. That is remarkable. They worked hard on that, and I'm very pleased to announce that. Those reductions, though, made it possible for the board to vote unanimous to approve the budget with the recommendation of acquiring a mobile dental clinic. The mobile dental clinic, I think, will be an invaluable asset to Wayne County. It will allow us to provide dental services to the children throughout our schools. It gives a great deal of flexibility, and I look forward to us being able to bring that. And I'm sure our director is looking forward to it as well. There continues to be enthusiasm as we meet with various stakeholders to gather support for the upgrading of 117 to interstate quality. There's been several meetings on this, and we're looking forward to it. This will have statewide significance as well as regional, and we feel like with the new formula that it will bode well for funding. I attended the hospital board meeting and was pleased to hear of improvements in reducing the time from a person showing up at the emergency room. That is something that they worked hard on. The hospital is examining every avenue to improve the services to Wayne County residents. One of the things I think that has not gotten much press on, that I think we all need to be aware of, and that is that Wayne Memorial Hospital is now performing heart stent implants on selective patients on an elective basis. They began offering this procedure in December and has had a 100% success rate. And that's big news that our local hospital now will provide this to our local citizens. I attended the scheduled meeting of the Board of Elections. There was several discussions regarding the early voting sites, and it has been recommended that going forward that the Board of Elections be a site that is open as a early voting site. The new board will take office in July. I think that's July the 16th, and I'm looking forward to that. Excuse me. I attended the Highway 70 Commission meeting in Havelock, in which I left early to go down to the beach to go fishing, but I enjoyed that. It's a nice place to have that down in Havelock. We had several presentations on the process of building a new highway, and in that I was amazed to hear that they have been working on for 30 years on a highway bypass for Havelock. Yep. We got to do something to shorten this process. 30 years, that's almost half a lifetime. But at any rate, currently the plans are for construction to begin on the Havelock bypass in 2016. And I know a lot of us going down to Moorhead will look forward to that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Daugherty. Mr. Mayo?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I think the facility committee has met about 12 or 13 times in the last few weeks. But no, first of all, the Wayne County Development Alliance, we had our board meeting. The Development Alliance is still very active. A lot of contacts, a lot of interest in business and industry moving into Wayne County, which is a good thing. Also, we had our monthly meeting of the Eastern Region down in Kinston. And of course, the Eastern Region are like most of the other 6 regions across North Carolina. We know that there's going to be some change coming out of our legislature. We just don't know what it is and how it's going to affect us. And of course, we're all anxious to see what that's going to be, whatever it is. In the meantime, we're continuing in the Eastern Region to help industries, to even loan money at 2-3% interest. Is that right, Mr. Bell? That's correct. We have money available for industries to borrow money from the Eastern Region. So we're still moving forward because we don't know what the future holds. We're just going to keep doing what we do best. On May 9th, I want to thank the Wayne Community College, Kay Albertson and her staff and the facilities. The Wayne County Facilities Committee met with the Wayne Community College Facilities Committee, and we had a great meeting. We were able to discuss in open what the needs of the college is as far as present and future needs, and most of all, how we can collaborate together to move forward and do what's best for our county and our college. That was a very informative meeting, open discussion, a lot of participation. So that was one of the better meetings that we've had. That's all I have at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Aycock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple items. I want to personally thank our solid waste department and Tim Rogers. They just went through a state inspection, and the first time in many, many years had 0 deficiencies, and I think they need to be commended on it. And Mr. Smith, did you want to make any comments on that?
Yeah, we received the report back, and I will tell you, and going back, we fall now under the strictest environmental rules in landfills in history. And to have that, it's not a person, it is a team of folks that actually come out and inspect. It is the first time. And you sometimes are small, but I mean, the state can come in, you've had a rain one night, you'll have some trailing on the side of one of the hills and get hit with a $15,000 penalty. They came in and found nothing. In fact, our team was ready. They walked in and our guys were like, here's some things we're thinking about. They shared some ideas about improvements. Tim, that entire staff, when you go out and talk to our solid waste folks, they were doing a wonderful job and want to commend them for that. It's just great. I was thrilled to get that letter.
One more thing, Mr. King, pertaining to OES, I want to continue to remember the family of Mr. Bernie Chavis, one of our original employees that lost his battle with cancer last week. He was employed with the city of Goldsboro before he came on with us when the county took over emergency services, and I'd just like to continue to keep his family in our prayers. And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Aycock. Mr. Pate?
Thanks, sir. Met yesterday with the Department of Social Services, and one of the things that we covered was the budget that they got for the county. And they too have reduced their budget. It's going to actually $606,787 less than last year's budget, which is really great. Now, keeping in mind that these are based on actual expenditures for this year, and these are mandated services, so if the population grows, then we may have to come back for a budget amendment at that time. But, you know, we do what we have to do. Department just settled with North Carolina. Adults that suffer with mental illness as their primary diagnosis must be removed from facilities from adult care homes that are not certified. And so those people will not have to wait in line, and we've already got 2 coming to Wayne County now, and that's a 36% county match. And this next one, part of this is, and I hope I tell this right, the NC Medicaid Division of Medical Assistance. There was to be a broker system next year, and the EMS was required to contract to the broker system in order to be paid for Medicaid non-emergency. And after all preparation by staff over there to get ready for this broker system, it's been canceled. So I don't know whether that's good or bad, but at least we're going to be in a system that we understand.
It's good.
And yeah.
So as to what we know, we think it's a good
that's what
thing.
I'm hearing. The only bad downside of that was the time that was spent by staff having to prepare for that. NC Fast, now we have a new supervisor who's taking care of that. We're down to 215 outstanding cases. That's down from 312 from last week. And if the software system would stay up and continue to run, they'd be pretty close to being called up. But, you know, when they get in there and start working, the system crashes, and there's nothing you can do about that. The next step for NC Fast, on August 19th, we will add Work First, Medicaid, Refugee Assistance, and Special Assistance. And that will probably slow the system down again. But anyway, it is what it is. Also attended the Highway 70 Havelock meeting. Mr. Daugherty's already covered that. But I too was amazed that it takes 30 years to get a bypass. And unbelievable. I went to the college as an observer of the meeting facilities, and like Mr. Mayo said, there was great cooperation between the Facilities Committee of the college and the county's Facility Committee. They got a common vision, and I was glad I was able to sit and observe that. And Animal Board Control, we started our volunteer program last week, and getting that on track. We had 14 people that came for that, and hope this will be a success. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Pate. Mr. Cromartie?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to begin by sharing with everyone that I met with the Wayne County Library Committee last week, and on the administrative report, Ms. Phillips and I shared with the group that we are very happy with where we are. There was some discussion about the $35,000 that the library group is forwarding to this body to help move the process forward. We did share with the group that we thought we would have a meeting this week to get some real X's and O's on the process. Mr. Smith informed me this morning that he must wait for a few details, and therefore he's going to send us a signal whenever we're ready to meet, but that does not deter from the fact that the meeting is in the works and the process will move forward. And I bring to you a thank you from the Library Committee that this body is moving forward, and they satisfied with the results of the dollar exchange. I'll just put it like that. They're satisfied, and I assured them I felt like that was, as we all discussed, the best thing to do to move forward, and it clearly puts the ball in the part of the county commissioners to take care of what we need to take care of. Also, last week I met with the wages. Well, I went to a wages board retreat. Dr. Marley Ray is the director of that, and it was very enlightening. They're doing some real good work, and so that group is to be commended. Also, I attended the planning board meeting with Mr. Price and that group, and that speaks for itself. One other thing that I would like to share with you all, I did have an opportunity to go to the Senior Citizens Affair. I'll call it that. It had sort of two names to it. I can't remember exactly call it. But they had a humorous speaker there, and his hair was white. And I'll say that before I say anything else, but there was one funny thing that he said. It was talking about what you might ought to cook with, and he said, well, people keep telling us not to cook with regular vegetable oil. He said, but vegetables are supposed to be good for you. Well, it take a moment to catch that, but I thought that was humorous on his part. But the Senior Citizen Group, I did have an opportunity to interact with them, and they did ask me to just share with you all that we had a good time, and they would expect to see you to that next year. So I would like to reserve a minute of my time to the end of the session where it's calls for board commissioners' comments, because I realize I jumped the gun on the making a concern about the appointments committee, but I'll wait to the end of the session to share that concern, and had nothing to do with the appointment that I made a mistake in honed in on, but I would like to reserve a minute or two at that time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cromartie. Just a few comments on some of the meetings and committees that I attended over the last couple of weeks. As the transportation issue continues to look at funding and the importance of Eastern North Carolina and where we stand in reference to getting those funds from not only the State Department but from the federal government. And with the possibility of Mayor Fox being appointed to the U.S. Transportation as U.S. Transportation Secretary, certainly would be a benefit from North Carolina, being from North Carolina, and we would hope that the networking would be a lot easier than having to go halfway across the United States or somewhere else in the United States to try to get, of course, be in his ear if we needed a federal shield for interstate transportation in our state, which Mr. Daugherty has already pointed out, the I-795-40 connector, and of course other interests of interstate connectivities east of 95 in eastern North Carolina. And with that, meeting with congressmen and setting up meetings with with congressmen on future dates, also with the support of local House of Representatives and state General Assembly and Senate members as well. The Association of County Commissioners, North Carolina Association of County Commissioners, as we all know, that they serve at our pleasure basically by being a member, each county being a member of this association, and this group of people very vital to what we understand in the state government and the General Assembly, especially in times of budgeting of what they're in right now. We do have a guest in our audience today, Mr. Neil Emery, who is representing the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. He's in charge of sort of overseeing 51 or looking after 51 counties, or overseeing or being just a part of dropping in on 51 counties and their commissioners to see how we operate and just to get a feel, so he's able to take back what he has seen and network our counties into what they're doing. And we just really appreciate you being here this morning, taking your time. 51 counties is a lot to cover. Eastern North Carolina is a big, we're glad that you're in Eastern North Carolina. Thanks for coming, Neil. But with that said, they have several committees, transportation, veterans, health services, and for the last 4 years, I've served as on the steering committee for the Health and Human Services Steering Committee, and we have been a big part of implementing the 1915 waiver that you've seen East Point now as an LME going to a MCO. The mergers that have taken place over the last 3 months, we've been working, and I've been a part of that for the last four years, and in particular the last 2 years when we started talking about this at the state level. As you all know, Medicaid is a part of our state government, which is really, really expensive and taking a toll on how the governor and the General Assembly are looking at health services, particularly in the mental health field. So a lot of changes that have gone on in the last year and a half. The Senate, we're privileged here in Wayne County to have Senator Louis Pate, who is the chairman on the DHHS on the Senate side. In the past 2 years, of course, Nelson Dollar, Representative Nelson Dollar on the House side, has been the chair on that side for DHHS. We've been through a lot of changes with Secretary Voss coming on and lining up what she and her staff, the deputy secretaries, feel like are important to continue the programs and to get through this time period, working with the governor and, of course, working in the General Assembly, working with the association, and just a partnership of networking that has been going on every day for really the last 3 to 4 months, taking on this huge beast, as I've heard it called in the General Assembly, that is just sucking the lifeblood out of the funding part of our health care system due to inappropriate decisions in the past. With this administration has elected to take another part and taking another look at how we're to move forward. And with that, we feel like we're lined up to get information to the Senate and to the House for funding, and that, of course, going to the national level. I will tell you, the commissioners, that I've served on the National Association of Counties on their Health and Human Services Steering Committee for the last year, and they've asked me to serve again, and we've made application for that with phone calls. Last week, I met in Raleigh with Rebecca Troutman and the steering committee, and we have a lot of issues still to come. Still working on our legislative goals that you are aware of. One of them is to continue the lottery funds that we have been allocated, to keep those coming in for building of our schools. That seems to have taken a turn in the General Assembly, and we've been asked, the association has been asked to support us continuing to receive those funds, and ask our senators to vote to reaffirm that we would like to keep those lottery funds where they are, to enable us to pay for our school construction and ADMs also. But with that, I've been very, very busy on the state level to find out where the funds are as we work through this budget, as you all know, and I appreciate that. This time then, unfinished business, we'll go into that. And that unfinished business, there's an item that came up this morning about something that Mr. Cromartie has spoken about already with the Steele Memorial Library. That with Mr. Mayo and Mr. Cromartie, if either one of you would like to talk about that as unfinished business and where we are. Mr. Mayo?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we sort of want to give an update as to the $35,000 that was sent to the county to pay to Ratio Architects, and I want Mr. Borden Parker, if you will, to take a minute to just give us an update as to where we're at on that. We know that we cannot go out for bids on the library until this is settled, and we have the stamp, the engineering stamp on the drawings that's necessary to go out for bids. So I'd like Mr. Parker to just take a minute and update us on that.
After your meeting, at your last meeting, I contacted Ratio Architects and got a letter, an agreement saying that the contract could be terminated upon our paying $35,000. You have a budget amendment that is being walked on today to get that money, so we can send that check out this afternoon or tomorrow morning, depending on how fast it can be written, if you approve the budget amendment. When that is done, then we should have all the plans given to us and be ready to proceed with the design build.
It's, the other thing, Mr. Chairman, I know Commissioner Cromartie is already alluded that we want to have a little bit of an information session at some point with the county manager as to what design build is all about. You know, a lot of people in Wayne County don't, and a lot of us don't know that much about design build. And so I think it'd be good to have a time that we can get together with ones that are interested in seeing how that works and how we can proceed forward. But in either case, until we get the engineering stamp on the drawings, we can't go out for bids. Is that right, Mr. Attorney?
Well, what you have to do is have something to show the people that are going to make the team what you want.
Yeah.
And they will have to themselves, probably whoever the design part of the design build team will probably modify what you're having to some extent, and it will be their stamp on it. The legislature has a bill. Wayne County has its own local legislation that allows design build.
That's right.
There is legislation that has passed one house that's going to allow it statewide, setting out all the specifics that are not in our bill. I gave a copy of that to Ms. Woods this morning, so she could look at it to see what it looks like that's going to be coming from the state.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Parker. Mr. Cromartie, Commissioner Cromartie, you have any comments?
I only to say that I want to thank the attorney and the county manager for their leadership in this, and you are right, Mr. Mayo. It is a new term for us, and it sounds like right this minute the expertise sit there at the table since they did design bill on a previous building. So I'm real pleased with that personally. And I say this because I know that the Mount Olive Group watches the TV and the foundation and all that, and they need to be reassured that we are moving forward, and we have the expertise in this room to give us leadership to do that, and we're looking forward to that session. Mr. Manager, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayo. Thank you, Ms. Cromartie. Under new business, the budget amendments, page 1 through 24. Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir. I'd ask Finance Officer, Ms. Pam Holt, she would come up and begin going through those. She has some guests she'll be calling up to go over a few of those also.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ms. Holt.
We'll start with number 416 in your package. This is one you see every session just about, increasing because of concealed weapon fees and fingerprint fees for the Sheriff's Department. Number 417. Do y'all want to vote on one by one, or you want me to go as a group? Okay.
Let's do the Sheriff's Office as a group, please.
Okay. The next one is the Sheriff. It is increasing the capital line item vehicles from seized property. This one is working like a grant work. It is restricted money with no county funds in it. It was originally budgeted in a non-capital line item, and we're just putting it in the capital line item. It works just like a grant.
What number is that?
Number 417.
417?
And you want me to go to all the sheriff's ones?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I think 416 and 417 is in the packet that we got Thursday this morning. Starts at 4:15.
We have a 433 too that is seized property. That's one you see for $3,029.12.
Page 17.
Okay, and then 434 is the jail, which is part of the Sheriff's Department, and that is a insurance recovery, and we're putting the funds in maintenance and repairs to vehicles.
I do need to clean up something. Though, and I see Mr. Johnson's here, WGBR. Thank you. When we turn pages, these microphones are really hot, and the radio picks up these WGBR, and the listeners are wondering what in the world is going on. So as we turn pages or get into these hot mics, we might want to move the mics away. Is that okay, Mr. Johnson? Yeah, okay. Okay. So I would ask that when we turn these pages, we just move them away from the mics.
Let's go to 415 now, and this is the SCAP grant. I am going to ask Cindy McCullen to come up and explain this one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a grant that is from the, it's basically the Department of Justice, a federal grant. It is something, it's called, you'll see it listed as the SCAP grant, but it's also called the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program. This is something, each year the federal government sets aside a certain amount of money, and then either state and local correctional facilities and local confinement facilities will take and apply for this grant. What it does, it's for eligible inmates that are of an alien status that is here in the United States. And once they've been convicted of a felony or a second misdemeanor and spend 4 or more consecutive days in our facility, we are reimbursed for that. And so each year it may go from, like this year, $12,000 to, depending on how many we may have, to to $30,000. So that's a grant each year. We don't know how much it'll be. It just depends on how many illegals that we have in our facility. So what we're asking is that it is used for jail. There are stipulations on it, on the award, on what we can use it for. So each year we'll ask, once it goes into the fund balance, we'll ask that it be moved into a expenditure line for the jail.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Daugherty?
I can't help myself. Evidently, we don't have that many illegal aliens that are in fact housed in our jail. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we have a very few. Do you have the approximate number of them?
No, I do not. I don't have. We go through a company called Justice Benefits, and they actually do the grant work for us, and then we pay them a percentage.
Right.
Because it is very time consuming that they go through.
Well, either the federal government is not giving us much grant per inmate, or we have very few.
Right.
So it'd be interesting to get that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, yes, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Number 442 is to appropriate funds for Brennan Associates for renovation of the jail, professional services for the month of June. That's $63,995. And that's all that have to do with the jail and the sheriff.
Mr. Chairman, I move
Mr.
adoption.
Mr. Daugherty?
I move adoption.
Motion's been made that we adopt these budget amendments. That would be under Sheriff's Department and / jail. Any discussion? I do have a question on the $63,995 for professional services from the fund balance
Yes, sir.
from Brennan and Associates. Is that right? Brennan
Yes, sir.
Associates? Were they over budgeted? Is that the reason we're bringing it out of fund balance?
No, we haven't budgeted, we only budgeted through May for Brennan. So I think they're going to be working possibly June, July, and August, from what I understand. And so this is just to complete this fiscal year.
Will we be looking at another budget amendment for Brennan
We'll either be
before the year end?
Not before year end. We'll put, if y'all, instruct us to do this, we'll put it in the original budget for
All
next
right.
year, for July and August.
For next year?
Yes. See, July and August will be in the next fiscal year. We just need this 1 month to complete this fiscal year, just June,
And that's $63,995.
That's per month. per month. That's 1 month.
Pardon me, but I'm confused.
Okay.
I maybe need to refer to facilities. Mr. Smith? The $63,000 on Brennan. I guess I'm confused about the fund balance appropriation.
Yes.
And with fund balance, are we going to budget, and that takes us through June 30?
Yes, and then we would have facilities, folks, we met with Brennan, they will assist us on the other projects through August. So we would have them assisting July and August, which that would include on the elevator project, that type of thing that's helped, but that's separate from the jail. But that would end before September 1st. So we've adjusted next year's budget, we'll be adjusting that, and then we'll have to do an actual expenditure adjustment. And
Will this close out?
We met with them, including Milford, that this was necessary to wrap everything up, because we did, as we worked on the jail, we did add projects, and facilities group met, and we all agreed, the facilities committee and the chair of facilities with Milford Smith. There were some things like if you've been in where we used to have the rain that would come down and the front office areas were wet, we're stripping that out, putting a security ceiling in. I think Cindy would attest that needs to be done because of things that can be brought in that should not be brought in. Projects like that. Fire pump, there has to be a change on that. So the committee's agreed we need to do that for 90 days, and then it's done. But to get everything right and be fully shipshape. So this would be one, and then we'll amend, or actually I will change the original budget that we'll be bringing to you next week. That will include 2 months of that service. And then we will be complete.
Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayo.
Just as a little clarification, when this is, the extension of Brennan and Associates was basically because we had run into some other projects during the process of renovating the jail that we didn't anticipate, and our facilities committee, our facilities director did not have the personnel and the time to do some of these, but we felt like time was of the essence. We need to finish this jail project, and so we want Brennan and Associates to help us through August to make sure that those big projects are finished. One of the things that we just did recently, and this was an internal process from the facilities director, Milford Smith, and myself and Mr. Lee Smith, was that we're going to take some of these smaller projects that now that we have a facilities director, we can take, like for instance the facade that's outside the detention center. We feel like that we can handle that ourselves because it's a fairly small project. We have contractors in this area, so we're doing some things to get our facilities director and staff more involved in what's going on. But as you know, Mr. Chairman, we've had a lot on our plate as far as facilities, just trying to keep everything repaired and so forth. So sort of gives you a little bit of an update as to what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayo. Any other discussion? Motion's on the floor. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Thank you. That is unanimous.
We'll go back to number 418. This is from the Register of Deeds. This is $2,000 for office supplies. The necessity to purchase more books for birth and death records has depleted this line item. She needs this much more money to get through the end of the fiscal year. That's the only one from Register of Deeds.
I move adoption.
Motion's been made to adopt this budget amendment for the Register of Deeds, $2,000. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Thank you.
The next one is a sewer budget amendment. It is to increase the revenue for sewer fees by $48,958 and to increase the expenditure for sewer fees, $48,958. More fees and more revenue anticipated for the end of the year.
That's something whenever we try to estimate on the sewer system, which is Genoa, you estimate it based on the history flow. And we are, and I will tell you, I appreciate the facilities folks and those in our sewer area that are helping to look at what we're calling I&I, or inflow and infiltration problems, not on our system, but in those that flow to us. We're going to actually put in meters that will help us better assess those flows so we can bill more accurately. But this is accounting for actual flows. It's actually, even with the rain, not been that bad this year. So it's an estimate. So we just have to adjust this during the year based on what is received and what we bill and what revenues come in from those billings. So that's what we're doing.
Pleasure of the board.
Make a motion to adopt, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mayo's made a motion that we approve this budget amendment, $48,958 for sewer. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed?
Number 420 and 421 are both for services on aging. Number 420 is a $300 increase to cover maintenance costs. This is for her exercise equipment. In the original budget, she didn't have exercise equipment, and this equipment is being used a lot and requires periodic maintenance. That's $300. And also, the next one is an increase for expenditure for fans, and it's a donation from Progress Energy for $657.
I move adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Daughtery. Motion's been made for this budget amendment. In service on aging. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed?
The next budget amendment is for the finance office for training from the gyms, for the gym software. They were down 3 days from 8 to 5. We trained the assistant finance director completely on the payroll system. $7,000.
Make a motion, we adopt, Mr. Chairman.
Motion's on the floor that we adopt the budget amendment of finance of $7,000. Any discussion? I do have a comment, I guess a comment or on this fund balance appropriation of $7,000. This is something unusual, is it not, because of the Ceridian payroll system and bringing gyms back in the system to do payroll. And this $7,000 is a direct reflection of having to bring someone in and train them on the gym system.
It's a direct reflection of moving the payroll system to the finance office and training the assistant finance director in the finance office so that we will have backup on the system.
Okay.
But the answer would be yes and no, because, and Pam and I have talked about this, because Allison particularly is being trained, which it was, I think, fantastic training. We've learned more about those modules that we've ever had in the past, about reports and things we didn't have before and couldn't access. And I think that's really going to support us in the future, so it was worth the run.
Okay.
Well worth
Good.
it.
All right. Is there a motion on the floor? Mr. Mayo? Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? It's unanimous.
Number 423 is an increase to vehicles for the central services. This is to appropriate funds for the purchase of a public affairs vehicle. $14,000.
It's the pleasure of the board.
Make a motion, we approve.
Mr. Mayo's made a motion, I'm sorry, Mr. Aycock has made a motion that we approve moving this $14,000 from fund balance appropriation to capital outlay on vehicles. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Mayo?
I just have a question. Is this is a new vehicle that we need? Is
For transporting equipment, because now we actually go out and when we're doing our, working with departments, our trainings, because we film a lot of our events out in the community, so it's mostly in transporting our equipment, because we don't have any spare type vehicles to be able to do that. And it's something we've been talking about, I guess, for about a year, so that we could do that.
it's well, I'm not against this. What I'm asking is that we got like 250 some vehicles countywide. Is there a good vehicle that would suit this purpose? I'm talking about that's in real good shape that we could maybe shift over.
We looked.
Okay.
Nothing really worked because of the type of equipment. We need something that opened in the back.
Yeah.
Because I had actually, we'd looked like, it's used vehicles, things that were like small PT cruisers that open in the back, but we needed to have enough overhead to be able to use some of this equipment, because when we do trainings and things like that, we actually move screens and we just don't have anything. Our minivans and things are used in DSS and they're being utilized, and you never know if you can use them, so it's been a problem for us.
Okay.
Mr. Pate?
What was the model that was going to be purchased?
Do you have the detail behind it?
Yes, I
have
do.
it right here.
Has 108,000 miles on it. Let's see if it has the model.
It's not new, we're not buying new.
It's not new.
No.
No.
Okay.
I don't see the
So we're
model.
buying a used vehicle, and it's
Okay.
almost like a minivan of sorts, but it's kind of the condensed down, has the doors in the back. You'll see those by some of the, like ADT and some of those companies. So we're finding like a fleet vehicle that we could buy in.
But it is in good shape, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah. So we've had it checked out.
okay, thank you.
Any other comments? I have one on the source of revenue for purchasing this used vehicle, is that it comes out of fund balance, and I need to ask you to look into the line items under capital outlay for vehicles, under central services, and I understand this is for the public information office. So this goes through June 30. So let's look at specific line items that haven't been used and will not be used between now and June 30. And instead of taking this from fund balance, is there enough monies appropriated in other line items that we could look at?
Yes, there is.
Which
There's
ones
another.
are those?
Advertising is what I would recommend.
How much is in advertising?
There's approximately $20,000.
$20,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do they project of using between now and June 30?
20,000 is what I'm projecting that will be available at the end of June 30th.
Okay. With that said, I'd like to amend the motion that we bring the money out of that item instead of fund balance appropriation. And that's in form of a motion. I'm amending the motion.
You need a second?
No second. No, just, okay, with that motion made, then, is there any discussion on that? Mr. Cromartie?
Well, I'd just like to ask a question. By following through on the amended motion, are we switching back to where you can move from Peter to Paul? And
I think just one instance. That's what I understand.
Then we will, on a case-by-case basis, let other departments do that kind of thing when it's convenient? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I think they're all
sir.
coming to the board.
No,
They'll
sir.
all be coming
Since I made the motion of the amendment, I'd like to answer the question. Okay. This doesn't set precedents in any way. It's between now, which we are in the middle of May, and we have 6 weeks. And is this particular department, Central Services, going to use $20,000 between now and June 30? Now, if they're not going to use it and the money's there, if we've looked at the budget for next year, which we have, and we've been told by that department that they're going to reduce their budget because they've been asked to reduce spending, then it just seems logical that we not move money out of fund balance, but use the money in that particular department on that line item, on that specific advertising line item that has that abundance of monies that have been allocated, and we're not going to use it to use the $14,000 for a used vehicle and not come from our fund balance. It's not shifting, and we're not borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. It's already there, and instead of carrying this over till next year, they would like it this year. So instead of going and grabbing the cash from your fund balance, if you have it in there and not going to use it, then why not?
I'm in total agreement with it. I was just wondering if we were going to let that be a process that other departments would use for that same kind of effort. And I guess I heard that it will be a case-by-case basis. Is that what I hear?
I will follow the direction of the board on that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other discussion? We'll vote on the amendment first. All those in favor of the amendment moving the monies from the advertising budget instead of fund balance, raise your hand. All those opposed? Did you vote, Mr. Aycock? Yes, sir. It's unanimous. We'll vote on let's vote on the motion. All those in favor of the Central Services budget amendment on $14,000 for used vehicle. All those in favor of that motion, raise your hand. All those opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, we will put number 424, number 426, 425, and 427 together, and I'll ask Mr. Joe Gurley and his staff to come up for these.
Before we move into that, can we take a moment, since that's probably going to take 5 to 10 minutes. We are 10 past 10. We do have public comments at 10 o'clock. So to take care of those citizens who have come to make public comments at 10, we're going to move from our business to let it be your business and have you come to the podium and speak for 4 minutes under public comment time. And that is, we're going to that now. So if we can take a break from these reports. So if there's anyone here who would like to come forward and make public comments at that time, please do so by stating your name and your address and your phone number.
I'm moving the microphone. My name is Bill Johnston, 143 Duval Drive, Goldsboro, North Carolina, County of Wayne. Chairman Keene, Commissioners, Manager Smith, thanks for letting me be here today with you. I run the Curtis Media radio stations here in Goldsboro. 1968, Don Curtis, who I work for, bought a radio company in Lawrenceburg, North Carolina, with the idea of serving the public interest. When our company purchased WGBR and WEQR here in Goldsboro, it was a daunting task because WGBR represents what we consider to be a heritage radio station, Curtis Media. And as evidenced by this broadcast, which can be heard as far away as Wilmington, North Carolina, WGBR still continues to play a viable role in serving the public interest here in Goldsboro. It's also the radio station people turn to in an emergency. We know that when there's a tornado, just as what happened in Oklahoma City, if there's a major weather event, people turn to 1150 WGBR, which is just one of the radio stations we broadcast the emergency information on, including 730 WFMC, which is probably our largest radio station here in Wayne County, playing contemporary Christian gospel music. And then Q97.7, today's hit, which is licensed to Walnut Creek and reaches people between the ages of 18 and 49. And not only that, our men and women at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. So we have a unique position in Wayne County as having the only local broadcast company in our area. Johnston County doesn't have what we have here. Duplin County doesn't have it, Wilson County, Greene County. And in fact, Lenore County now does have a local broadcasting company because we just acquired WELS AM and FM as well. So in addition to those stations and a new FM coming into Goldsboro later this year, we have 4 FM and 3 AM stations operating on Highway 70 in Wayne County. So we reach a lot of people, and I think it's important for us to let you know that we appreciate the commissioners and the opportunity to serve you and broadcast this meeting today. Also, we do recognize that you've been pretty busy with the budget process and also just inhaling new members and trying to learn the process. And working with Barbara going forward after the budget process is done and you've been able to kind of get some free time yourself, we would invite you to come to our radio station. At 8:30 on WGBR in mornings, there's a fantastic show hosted by an amazing broadcaster. And it's called Hear What Everyone's Talking About. But that piece is called Newsmakers. We've had governors, senators, congressmen, and now we'd like to invite commissioners to come in and be a part of that show, working through Barbara here at the county. Newsmakers not only appear on that program, but they also become part of our news. And that news is rebroadcast throughout all of our radio stations, and in addition to that, GoldsboroDailyNews.com. Thank you for letting me appear with you this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Johnston.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Jim Barnwell, 108 Woods Drive in Dudley, North Carolina. Telephone number 734-6149. I'd like to speak to you one more time about landfill fees. I understand the budget hearing is coming up fairly soon. These landfill fees is nothing but a tax. Whether you want to call it a fee or what, it's still a tax. And I would, in my opinion, probably the majority of the people in Wayne County is not paying this tax. Reason for it, nobody with the exception of Southern Springs and living in municipalities does not pay that fee. Although they're using the same facility, the landfill, that we in the county that's having to pay that fee, they're using the same facility. Don't cost them a penny, other than the fact that they pay garbage pickup fees to the city. In my situation, I have a subdivision, another mobile home park. I have to pay those fees because it's a subdivision, and it's not fair. It's not fair, folks. I urge you to either eliminate this landfill fee or either charge everybody the same fee, regardless of where they live. I think you need to take, my opinion, I don't think it would stand up in court. I don't think it's constitutional. And I would urge you to consider during the budget hearings to remove this fee. Now, I would like to remind you of one thing. I've been a Republican all my life. Don't mind telling you. But how many of you remember when we got one of the biggest tax increases in history and who the president was? And how we got this tax increase was through user fees. And this user fees came in vogue during, of all people, President Reagan's reign. How many people remember that? I like for you to just think about that for a minute. User fees has got completely out of hand. The legislative down in Raleigh is thinking about doing the same thing again. And I'm going to guarantee you, within 5 to 10 years, we're going to be paying more taxes here in North Carolina through user fees than anybody probably in the United States. And I'm predicting one thing. Within 5 to 10 years, the sales tax in North Carolina will be somewhere around 11 and 12 cents. Mark my words. Thank you. Got anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Barnwell.
Tom Drew, P.O. Box 587, Goldsboro 27533. And to repeat, as it is said, an education system and a community without a viable newspaper is an education system and a community without a viable conscience. And a newspaper without a viable editorial page is a newspaper without a conscience. As there's not enough days in the hour, there are not enough minutes in this public comment for this citizen reporter for the Card Post among 7 billion to seek to take up the slack of the NO, the News Argus, among many others on that matter. As all my emails since last fall read out, advanced education, democracy, advances education and suicide prevention. Been using this public comment to address ongoing research of this question to explore and secure the quality of education, democracy at WCC affected by censorship, and ability to advance education and suicide prevention, significantly with guest educators coming to WCC and others relevant to those matters. Recently, changed focus to the latter part. First part, advance education democracy, advances ability to address any crisis, but the suicide prevention crisis, education and suicide prevention, the crisis in education and suicide prevention recently focused on by Mental Health Association Wayne County Lunch and Learn held 5/8. Went there with this sign. Before it began, I was informed that I might have 3 or 4 minutes to speak towards the end, and prepared my mind to explain why I wrote what I wrote. That because of FS plus PA equals D, I have hope on top of hope on top of hope, and I would add that some hopeless situations can get much, much better very, very soon. Did not have that opportunity, though did have opportunity to write a question down on a card, and it was the last question I asked at the end of that Lunch and Learn. The question is it correct that there's neither a suicide prevention specialist or the training for one in North Carolina? A statement first published November 4th of 01, last report 427, report 427 published in News Argus before being censored. The moderator read the question, the moderator answered the question, usurping the role of the 3 speakers to respond, and concluded the meeting.
went up to him afterwards and addressed that. He answered the question, I wish to know who these specialists are and where did they get their training. And he deferred the question to a person from the East Point present. I said, I've been that way several different ways and days, and they have yet to respond to that. He answered the question. It's his need to answer who these specialists are and where they get their training. Long story short, in 30 seconds, did email before the day was out, 2 emails to the Mental Health Association, and another one yesterday to East Point. And when I leave today, I'll make sure this board and Board of Education has a copy, and that's public record, and anybody wants the bigger picture of this matter, they can request it. It'd be titled Advanced Education Democracy Advances Education and Suicide Prevention.
Thank you, Mr. Drew. Any others wish to speak? Public comment section is now over. Ms. Holt, thank you.
We'll go to number 424 and 426, which involve the Wayne County Jetport. Number 424 is increasing the jet fuel avgas expenditure by $70,000. The revenue to support this is sales of jet fuel for $35,000, sales of avgas for $35,000. The next one is increasing, we're using fund balance in the airport by $6,005. We need an additional $4,500 in electricity, $200 in water, $1,300 in credit card handling fees, and $5 in 401k. Y'all need
Is that airport?
airport.
Any questions for the commissioners? Or by commissioners for Ms. Holt or the staff at the airport?
What's the question?
Mr. Pate?
Just explain that credit card handling fee to me. What is that? That's a,
You want to explain that?
Yes, sir. It's whenever the customers buy the fuel and they pay by credit card, and we charge a fee for that.
oh, we get into
And
that.
what we're doing is selling more fuel, and of course, that's raising our credit card fee even higher.
Oh, okay, so we're actually making better here. Okay, I feel better about that now.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Daugherty?
Are you there? Am I understanding that you are selling, or anticipating selling $70,000 more of jet fuel and fuel at the airport?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, we just bought another load of fuel, which will be part of this money here. And then I'm expecting to sell one more load of aviation gas and 2 more loads of jet fuel by the end of the month. I'm sorry, by the end of June and such. Our transit traffic in the last month has really picked up, and that's why it's kind of put us at this point now. We thought we had enough to get us throughout the year, but last month was a great month for jet traffic.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a good amendment.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the Wayne Executive Jet Board? All those in favor of the budget amendment for the Jet Board, raise your hand. All those opposed?
You want me to make a motion first?
Yeah.
I move adoption.
I'm sorry, I thought you did. Really?
I move adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Daugherty. I apologize. Mr. Daugherty's made the motion. Any further discussion? Mr. Aycock?
No, I would go ahead and vote.
Oh.
Well, save it a while ago, I just want to make sure you saw me this time.
Okay, all right. Well, motion's been made, and one's already voted. Rest of, all those in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All those opposed, thank you. That was unanimous. Thank you.
We'll move forward to number 425, Office of Emergency Services. We're increasing the professional services medical line item by $22,250, appropriating fund balance to match. This is to carry forward funds appropriated in a prior fiscal year for the VFIS study. And also in the same categories, number 427 is 911 and EMS. That is increasing workers' comp by $3,300 and $7,500. This was just left out of the original budget. They did not budget for workers' comp for part-time people.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mayo.
Budget amendment number 420, which was the first one? Yeah,
If I ask, it's 425.
425 for 22,250. I'd like to make a motion that we table that at this time and not act on it, Mr. Chairman.
Motion on the floor is to table the number 425, which is the professional services for 22,250, to table that. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Aycock.
Yes, sir. I'm not questioning Mr. Mayo's, reasoning for tabling it. My question is, I don't understand why we're even got this budget amendment before us, for the simple reason this money was appropriated by the previous board. And my question is, if it was appropriated by the previous board, where is this $22,000 at? I mean,
Okay, I can answer that. It was in a purchase order, and the purchase order was deleted erroneously when we changed fiscal years, and so it's just reappropriating it. It has already been approved by a previous board. This is an accounting entry.
It's an accounting entry, basically. Because we have an approved requisition and purchase order, and the study's complete.
Well, I just feel like, we have an obligation to, this has been going on. I know we've had a full plate since December. But this is dragging on, and I don't have a problem with tabling it right now, but I feel like we need to act on this very shortly.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mayo.
To add to my motion on tabling it, maybe next meeting or at the board's recommendation or time-wise, we need to have a work session on this, because there's a lot of information here that we need to discuss that the Board of Commissioners has not had the opportunity to look at. So that's why I'm asking and making a motion to table it, maybe till after we get through with some of our budget. But whenever the board would like to have a work session, that's what I'm making a motion for, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Wait a minute. You want to then change your motion, not to amend it, but you just want to make a motion that we table this and have a work session on this. Do you want to do that at the next meeting, or do you want to do that in July? Or you said after the budget hearing, so.
Well,
is there a date that we can tie to this next meeting?
It depends on our schedule. If we have time, we can do it, but if we want to wait till after the budget's over to do this, this is not something that let me ask Ms. Holt a question. This is not something that we're going to be penalized for if we don't pay it. Are we going to be charged,
I'm going to let Joe answer that because he has the invoice.
interest or anything?
Well, I'm not prepared to give you a statement either way on that one, but the invoice to Curtin says does not indicate any late charges. The best I could tell you right now, I could call Mr. Genoway up and ask could we beg for some additional time.
Okay. Well, before we go any further with discussions, I want to make sure we understand the motion. Motion on the floor is to table this and have a work session.
That's correct.
Now, we can get into discussions all we want. It's up to the pleasure of the board, and we can have a work session right now. But right now, I'm trying to keep everything as close-knit here.
Yeah.
The motion's on the floor to table this, to have a work session on this. Any discussion? That's the motion. Any discussion? Mr. Aycock.
One quick thing. I agree on tabling it for right now, and I agree on a work session. We are in the position that we can have a representative of VFIS here on July the 16th for our July 16th meeting, but that's the pleasure of the board. Just passing that information on to you. Thank you.
July 16th?
Yes, sir.
And who is this gentleman?
Mr. Bill Genoway.
And who is Mr. Bill Genoway for the citizens?
Kindly give his title now, Mr. Gurley, please.
I'm going to ask Blair to give Mr. Genoway's title. They're in contact with each other. I know he's, I think, holds the position of Vice President of the VFIS, but I'll let Blair give you the accurate title.
Just asking who Mr. Bill Genoway is.
He is the Vice President of Consultative Services for Volunteer Firemen's Insurance Services.
And this is the survey.
Yes, he was the leader, the team leader and administrator of the survey. Yes,
Okay, and he will be here on the 6th, you can have him here on the 16th of July?
that date's open as of today.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Hold on, Mr. Mayor.
I will need to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
And then Mr. Dollar.
Is the survey is back and complete as far as you're concerned? And
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have the original copy.
Okay,
with
I
me.
would like to request that every one of these commissioners get a copy immediately, so we can start looking through it and see if we have any problems, okay?
The electronic copy, the paper copy's pretty thick.
Yeah.
The electronic copy was mailed on Thursday, so I'm expecting it today.
Okay.
If you'd rather have electronic copy or if you'd rather have a hard copy, but we can certainly supply that. I just
Either one
didn't.
you want, we're ready to do.
And they will ship us additional copies if we would like them, but I didn't know how many copies we needed.
Okay.
Hard copies will be sufficient, please, for
Hard
each
copies
commissioner.
for me,
Okay.
please.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Daughtery?
I'm not quite
Do you have any questions
understanding.
for
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
I mean, the question was asked and answered in regards to the fact that this study had already been authorized, PO was issued, they actually conducted the study, they already have the report back.
Yes, sir.
And now they've submitted a bill for payment.
Yes, sir.
Am I correct?
Yes, sir. That's
Partial payment.
Partial payment. That's the
A
remainder of the
partial.
payment.
That's
Yes,
the
sir.
remainder of the payment.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we've already obligated, the county's already obligated for this, and the payment is due upon completion, and I'm not quite understanding why we would want to postpone the payment of that for an additional 2 months. So maybe Mr. Mayo could.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
First of all, let me just clarify what the payment, the contract price was. Was it $45,000?
Yes, sir.
At $45,000,
It
and
was-
this is the remainder of the
Yes, sir.
$45,000 to
Yes,
be
sir.
paid, which is
Yes, sir.
$22,250?
Yes, sir. To
Okay.
include reasonable travel. The original contract was not that exact figure.
Sure.
And then the travel allowances were added in.
Sure.
And that was agreed upon.
Mr. Mayo?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, in reference to Commissioner Daugherty's question and for general information, we as Commission Board do not own this survey until the Commission Board votes on it. And since we have not seen the final copy of the survey, we may have some changes. One of the things that we're concerned about is that I understand it's been sent out since y'all sent it out about 3 times, is that correct? For changes to be made?
Yes, sir. We've sent it back to the
Okay,
county. Yes, sir.
now, what about if the board looks at it and we say, look, we pay this bill, let's say we go ahead and pay it. If we have some changes to be made, if we send it back after we pay this bill, then we're gonna get charged extra for it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's correct.
Now, the contract reads, if I understand it, because I think it came from a meeting I was at with you,
Yes, sir.
that the county does not own this contract until the Board of Commissioners approves it. So I would like to take time for the Board of Commissioners to have time to look at this survey. There's a few of us on this board that's seen the survey.
I haven't seen it, so I mean,
Okay.
I just want an explanation.
Okay, so that's the explanation, is that.
It's a good
is that
explanation.
we don't own the contract until the Board of Commissioners votes on it. I want time to look at it and see what changes you guys have made on this thing. So that's the reason I'm asking to table.
I understand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Wait a minute, Mr. Page.
Okay.
Please, for 1 second.
I'm gonna have to leave.
You good? Go ahead. Thank you. Mr. Pate?
I'm not disagreeing with what Mr. Mayo is saying, but I do want to make sure that we get the opportunity to read that very quickly, and we find out for sure that it's not going to, incur any additional costs because this bill is being paid late don't know if it's considered late or not.
Yes, sir.
And I hate, as much as I like to wait for July the 16th for that gentleman to get here, but I think it's very important that we find out the answer to that question. And if we can move on it forward more quickly, I would be happier with it. If that is the case, it's going to cost us more money. If not, then we can wait till July 16th. Thank you.
Mr. Aycock?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I certainly don't have a problem with waiting until the 16th, and Mr. Mayo is correct. The Board of Commissioners has not accepted this. I'm not saying that we need to act on this today. I'm just saying that in the next couple of months, we need to clear this up. But I'm not disagreeing with Mr. Mayo.
Let me follow up with Mr. Pate. I agree with Mr. Pate also. We chose July 16th because it's convenient for the commissioners' dates. That's the earliest we could get everybody's dates together where Mr. Genoway can be here on your date. Now, in the event that we start incurring charges because it's past the net 30 days, we'll see what date he has available quicker and see if we can get everybody assembled together. If that's okay with you, Mr. Chairman. Okay.
Any other discussion? Motion's on the floor that we table this tentatively until July the 16th and have a work session at that time in reference to the survey. Any just further discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? It's unanimous. Ms. Holt. Ms. Holt, sorry.
Now, we got some other ones. There's two more.
There's
27, 29.
So
Tabling that one, I think we still need to vote on the workers' comp one.
427.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I move adoption of 427.
Thank you, Mr. Daugherty. Motion's on the floor to amend the budget for 911 and EMS for workers' comp. $10,800. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Number 428 is a grant for healthy communities, and I'm going to ask the Health Department Director to please come forward.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Real quick, Mr. Cromartie, your gentleman was partially right about the vegetable oil. The vegetable oil is not bad for you, but it's that we dip everything in it that's bad for us. There's a lot of calories, so I just want to make a clarification on that for the health standpoint. This is a budget amendment for Healthy Communities Grant. This grant is for $12,480. This grant is actually provided to us by the Chronic Disease and Injury Physical Activity and Nutrition Branch. This money comes in annually. However, it comes in a short window, and this year we were notified in March 13th that we were getting this, and the money wasn't available for us to spend until April the 1st, and we had until May the 31st to spend that, so we had a very short window. This money essentially is for us to use it to try to promote physical activity or healthy eating, or to try to look at providing some diabetes management. In this case here, we didn't have enough time to look at applying diabetes management for clients to be able to get up the number of people in the time frame to get it utilized. So what we did, we've opted to try to work with the City of Goldsboro Parks and Recreation Department and use this to help them facilitate some contracted services to install some physical activity units along the greenways. And this is in compliance with the grant allocation. So we're asking to allow us to increase that line item in professional services.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move adoption.
Motion's been made to approve the budget amendment. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is number 430, is facilities. We're increasing telephone by 3,200, increasing janitorial supplies by 6,800 for a total of 10,000, fund balance appropriated, and this is to get the facilities department through the end of the year on these specific line items.
Is this the only one for facilities?
And we have number 431, and that is the purchase of a thermal imaging camera. It's in capital outlay equipment, and that is fund balance also.
Any questions, discussions for Mrs. Holt on these?
Make a motion, we accept, Mr. Chairman.
Motion's on the floor that we accept the budget amendments for facilities. Any discussion? I do. Under the facilities number 430, it says janitorial supplies, $6,800. Are we going to break this down for the 13-14 budget so we'll know which area or what facility, if we break the facilities down, where the janitorial supplies will be going?
That will be on the part of the facilities department. Our software in gyms does allow that, as long as they'll code it to particular. We can code to buildings or departments, and so if they'll code it that way, then we can set it up in the gym software to actually trace it by that way. Or it depends if they want to trace it on a spreadsheet on their side. It will be up to the facilities department.
Okay. Well, being on the facilities committee, I was looking at just what they need through, is this through June 30?
Yes, sir.
Janitorial supplies. I just don't want to run out of toilet tissue. Sorry. But I just, you know, it's interesting to know that there's $6,800 in janitorial supplies to get through the year. Okay. Any other discussion? Mr. Aycock?
Comment on 431. I want to commend Mr. Milford Smith. That is a very conservative figure for a thermal imaging camera. Commend him for finding one that cheap.
Okay. Any other discussions? All those in favor of this budget amendment, raise your hand. All those opposed, thank you.
Our next one's a very big budget amendment, number 432, $3. They need $3 more in other communications in the tax department.
I move adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Donner. Any
Next.
discussion? I'm sorry,
That's
you
all.
go ahead. You got some other items on that?
That's the only one on that
Okay.
one.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, thank you.
Number 436 is veterans. They need an extra $100 in the telephone line item to complete the end of the year.
What was the number on that one?
Number 436.
That's been our handout. That's in the handout.
Oh, the handout?
Yeah.
Okay. Couldn't find it.
What's the pleasure?
I move we adopt.
Thank you, Mr. Pate. Motion's on the floor that we adopt the budget amendment for $100 telephones for the veterans. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed?
The next one is our capital project for the Mount Olive Library. This is $35,000 to pay ratio and anticipating the $35,000 for the Mount Olive Friends of the Library.
What number was that?
Number 437.
Make a motion, we accept, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayo. Motion's on the floor that we accept the budget amendment for the Steele Memorial Library. All those in favor? Any discussion on that? All those in favor, say, raise your hand, please. Thank you. Go get it.
Number 441 comes from our Human Resources Department. We need an extra $36 to pay the workers' comp excess insurance policy. We budgeted $36 short. Ms. Guy could not be here today, so she wanted to let y'all know what this was for. Wayne County's workers' compensation insurance is self-funded. We do, however, have in place an excess coverage policy that will pick up and cover catastrophic claims that total $350,000 or more. This is a safety net for the county.
All those in favor of the budget amendment? I'm sorry. What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Aycock, thank you. Motion's on the floor to approve the budget amendment. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed?
Number 443, this is for our public affairs, and I'm going to let Ms. Barbara Arnson speak on this.
This is for, this is actually going to be a grant that we're going to be getting from the Federal Credit Union. In March, Human Resources found out that if we wanted to have an intern and we were willing to work with that intern and give them something to do and write a report about it, the Federal Credit Union would actually pay us. So we have to, put the money in first, but at the end of July, beginning of August, we'll get the money back. And we've got a young man who will be working with us. He goes to Wayne College Early Middle, and he'll be working with us 20 hours a week. And we will have him doing website work, Facebook work, and some stuff with cameras and filming. So it'll give him a chance to learn and us having some. And at the end of the summer, all the money won't be paid to him. We at Wayne County actually will make a little bit of money as well for taking the time to spend with the student.
Good deal.
What's the pleasure?
I have one question, Marvin. What's that
Baker.
breakdown in terms of salary for the intern?
What? We have it right here on your budget amendment.
Is it on there?
Yes.
27.
They have to, by
27%.
the definition of the grant, take-home net pay of $2,500. So we're actually receiving $5,000 total, and his total gross salary would be $27,0714, with benefits shown below.
I was just trying to determine the hourly rate.
Oh, that's 160 hours.
Okay. I can divide. I didn't know about the hours. Thank you so much.
I move adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Daugherty. Motion's on the floor that we adopt this budget amendment on public affairs. Any discussion? Yes, one thing is that the North Carolina Rural Economic Development Center, where is she? The North Carolina Rural Economic Development Center and Rural Economic, North particularly, the economic part of it, is being changed somewhat, well, a whole lot in the General Assembly. So as we go into July and August, just keep a really close eye on this particular funding structure, because it may not be there next year. And if there's a long-term plan for this position, understand that those funds may not be there this time next year.
He'll be gone by August 2nd.
Right. But in the future, understanding that the Rural Economic Development Center, as it stands now, probably will change. Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand. All those opposed, thank you.
And our last budget amendment is number 429. This is for the fire districts. And we have a detailed attachment by fire district attached to this, but in total, for 30 fire districts, $492,938.85. This is monies collected above anticipated collections for each fire department, and this is the Board of Commissioners sets the fire tax rate. We do this every year, and I will bring another one to you the second meeting in June. We'll be collecting sales tax and vehicle tax, a little bit of real estate tax. We get as much paid out as we can before the end of the year.
Make a motion to approve this, Mr. Chairman.
Motion on the floor is to approve this budget amendment on fire districts for $492,938.85. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Daugherty.
As I'm understanding, we had budgeted for each fire department,
Correct.
and we're coming to the end of the year here, and these were unbudgeted amounts that they have received that need to be allocated to each one of those fire departments.
Correct. We're just a vehicle through which their taxes are, we collect them and then we send them out to the fire departments. So during the original budget, we estimate the taxes that they will receive based on the levy and the collection rate. and the tax rate, and these are over collections. This also not only involves the real estate and the vehicle, but also the sales tax. So when you're budgeting for these particular line items, you're definitely estimating.
Mr. Aycock.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I'm a follow-up question. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Mr.
I'm
Daugherty.
very slow today. Well, I mean, this is almost $500,000. So we basically had underestimated the revenues for these fire departments by $500,000. You're saying this is pretty normal?
This is pretty normal. It's not totally, some of it is, some of the fund balance are the ones that we had remaining at the end of last year. So those are carry forwards that we're paying out now. We've actually paid them out, but they've fallen out in cash now because of the expenditure line item that was connected to it.
Well, and my only concern in going into the budget process is to make sure that the fire tax rates that are established do reflect accurately the receipts to these fire departments. And that's my only concern.
Right.
I mean, $500,000, and you're saying that we should have additional.
That will be with whatever sale, because this budget amendment pays out the cash that we have on our books at the time this budget amendment was prepared. We still have sales tax and vehicle tax to come in before the end of June, and we'll have a sprinkling of real estate. And so we'll pay, the second meeting in June, I will bring the remaining cash at that time through a budget amendment, and we'll pay out that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Aycock.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Hope, is a rule of thumb, are we conservative on the budgets for the fire departments? Are we normally conservative on our figures that we estimate, or I know there's no way in the world you can come up with an exact figure. I mean, and with the economy fluctuating like it is back and forth, but normally, or when we turn those figures in, are we conservative, or, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but.
Well, I always budget conservatively on revenues.
Okay, all right, you answered my question.
It is accurate with the levies that I'm given, the tax rate that I'm given, and the collection rate that we are required to use is pretty accurate.
Okay. So, the way I understand it, it's not your decision to be conservative. It's you get what you receive from the fire departments, and each fire department gives you their budget and what they are asking for that year, and they understand their tax rate.
That's correct.
And they know.
They are turning in the budgets to us, and we are telling them what the current tax rate would yield, and then they're turning the budgets back into us.
And when do they normally turn those budgets into you?
We have most of them now. We have a few fire departments that are still, we don't have the budgets on.
Okay. Do all of the departments, all the volunteer fire departments submit to you their budgets?
Yes, they do.
Everyone?
Everyone.
Okay.
And
they're required to.
Two
Mr.
outside the
Aycock?
county, correct?
Yes.
Which ones are they?
Mosley Hall and Boone Hill.
Boone Hill, Princeton?
Princeton.
And the other one?
Mosley Hall.
Okay.
Learn something. Okay.
And also, in return, there's several departments in Wayne County that gets tax revenue from surrounding counties also. It's
Question, I guess, how will we handle then, moving forward, the changing in some of these districts with the property values changing, i.e. being Progress Energy? So how do you handle that in your budget, trying to look at knowing that we as a county are going to have that much more property value in that particular
We took
fire
that in-
department stays right there, and then it's changed because of that real estate. So how do we do that?
I'm going to ask David to come forward on that, David Allen from the tax department, but I'll tell you what I did as far as budgeting on my side. We were getting the values, they gave me the values, and we had to estimate as good as we could. We took those into consideration when we prepared the budgets for them. Marmac going up, Rosewood going down.
Okay.
And most of those that we're talking about are public service companies. We do not get the actual certifications from the Department of Revenue on our public service companies until earliest has been August, and a lot of times it's been September, October. So we really don't know until we get those certifications what we can expect from the public service companies.
So the fire departments really don't know what to expect when they're preparing their budget now when they turn it into us for 13-14?
Not concerning public service companies, no.
That also is affecting the budget amendment. We, Marback, getting the dollars, we didn't have, all the levies at the time the original budget was done last year. As he said, we get those public service company evaluations, in September.
Okay, and what about sales tax? How is that tied in to this? I noticed that there was, you mentioned sales tax.
The fire departments get a portion of our sales tax before, when it comes in, all depending on the amount of levy, percentage as to the total county levy.
What is that rate?
What?
Sales tax?
It's Article 39, 40, 42, and 44, and then it's based on the percentage as they're part of the total levy. It's a spreadsheet that we'll have to figure. It's a big spreadsheet.
But you said 40. I'm familiar with education, so this is for fire departments and this.
Yes, the fire departments get their percentage right off the top, just like the municipalities. And so we take that percentage and we appropriate to the fire departments, move it over to their funds, and it's part of the cash we hold.
Okay.
And that you say, do I budget conservatively? Yes, I do budget conservatively on sales tax, and that's always paid off in the county.
Okay. Any other comments? Mr. Daugherty?
I'm looking at page 21, which has got a list, and it says direct services. And I see two that stand out there where there was in excess of 60,000. Now, when you say direct services, that is the fire tax.
That's a combination of all of it.
Combination of all?
Yes, of all revenues. That's a combination of all
So
of
it is
them.
a combination of sales tax as well as property tax?
Yes, correct. And delinquents that they collect. So there's one expenditure line item for all the different revenues that are collected. When we balance each budget, the expenditure is the total of all the revenues.
Well, as we go forward, I would just hope that we are able to, I'm just looking at it from the citizen's point of view. Citizens' point of view, they're looking at, they are having to pay a fire tax, and they're paying a property tax, ad valorem tax. They look at the total bill. And so with that in mind, I would hope that we are going to be as close as possible in reflecting the revenue stream so we can keep those tax rates as low as possible. But that's my only.
That's our aim also.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments? Motion's on the floor by Mr. Aycock that we approve the budget amendment. No other discussions? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? It's unanimous.
That completes the budget amendment.
Thanks, Ms. Holt.
I thought I was going to go briefly.
Thank you.
It did.
It's all about the dollar. Just checking on the expenses. It's 11 o'clock. We will be, have they been notified about the closed session, CPAs, the accountants? Okay. Let's